Welcome, everyone. This is our first episode of Connected by Community. We're glad to have you here. Connected by Community, we're here to bring partners from the community, both in business, nonprofit, personal endeavors, and just hobbies and interests, and get to know more about those around us. And it's really all about who we are, where we are, and what we are. And today we are honored to have two folks here who have their own podcast, who brought us into this world and shepherd us by, I think we were the first men on your podcast. So that's awesome. And we're glad you guys paved the way for us. And so we have Ashley Steigerwald and we have Jen Wills here with us. And I should have mentioned over here, Anthony Colincheco is with Connected by Community. So we are counting on you guys to bring us through and hit a home run on this one. So no pressure.
No pressure.
We're putting all of our pressure back on you. So
thank you.
We're just excited to be reunited.
Yeah, that's right. It's a reunion, right?
Yeah, it's a reunion.
Reunion. So maybe tell us a little bit about yourself first before we get into all this fun community stuff.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ashley Steigerwald. I am a realtor with Wilson Associates Real Estate. That's what I do professionally. And met you through some transactions we've done on some houses. And I have three boys. One is turning 9 tomorrow. I know. I need to go get a cake. That just reminded me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I had one just turn 11, and I have a 15-year-old son as well.
Busy then.
Three boys. It's something. It's something. You know.
Yeah, I understand.
It's something.
I understand.
It's something.
What about you,
I also
Jen?
have three boys.
Oh.
6, 4, and 18 months. So it's something.
Yeah.
You guys have some testosterone in your house between
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm here to let Jen know that she will make it.
I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah, you got all the girls.
I got all the girls.
All the girls.
All the girls.
And another one coming?
And another one coming any day now, yes.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all could balance one another.
I
I feel I got one of
You got one-
each,
I
so
know.
it's
Mm-hmm.
that way if I get mad at one of them, I can go with the other. I got good kids most of the
Same.
time.
Same.
So.
I can't complain. Even with all the shenanigans, they're really good kids.
Yeah.
We just finished out the school year.
Uh-huh.
We made it. Sliding into home. We
Yeah.
survived. So, yeah.
That was
I've
probably
had a lot of people say, are you so excited they're home for the summer? What kind of question?
Yes.
And wait
So
about 30 more
excited.
days, right?
Yeah.
It's like, when does school
I
start?
know. We all have that one mom friend. She's like, #blessed. Can't wait to have them home for 90 days. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't get you.
Yeah.
I love my children, but I love them when they're in school. And
Yeah.
then I love them when they come home each day. So,
Understand.
yes. Yeah, I need the break.
It's funny, my son just said that to his sister yesterday. He said, "Are you ready to start school back in about 8 weeks?" I think she wanted to kill him. But that's the way it goes. So. Well, tell us a little bit about Moms on the Move. I mean, you guys do this awesome podcast. You're, again, the inspiration for one of the reasons we're here. Certainly, we're not going to do as good a job, but I want to know. I want to know more seriously about.
I'll let
about
you.
this.
You jump in.
Okay, so we work together.
Yeah.
Wilson Associates, and so that's how we met. And I think we initially bonded over the 3 boys
Yes.
each. And so we were having a charity event for Auction for a Cause. It's called a dog rescue. And the owner of the studio was there and just kind of mentioned having a meeting. And at the same time, we had started a mom's group. Kind of to grow business, and so we were initially.
Yeah.
So we came in and met with Mark, did the trailer, and anticipated it was going to be very real estate related. And we were one episode?
One episode in.
One episode in, we
This is gonna
completely
get real
veered off.
boring.
And we've just been doing mom topics and trying to help the women in Greenville. Not even specifically Greenville.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bigger than that. But we've had infertility episodes, addiction, finance.
Yeah.
Just topics, and the one that's airing today, I know I'm time stamping that, but it's this organization called Let There Be Mom, and it helps provide a legacy for very sick parents, and just assists with life-threatening illnesses. So just a very Greenville based organization, but we're trying to just do 20-minute segments once a week that'll be mom content.
Yeah, and like she said, we thought it was going to be business-based. This is going to help us connect with our sphere of influence. This is going to connect and kind of keep us top of mind. And like she said, we got a few episodes in, and the feedback we were getting was we were really helping people. We were connecting with people. We had a mom who lost her son. He drowned, and it was just we've been able to connect her with infant swim rescue, and it's just the feedback. Jen was very candid on our addiction episode about the struggles with her husband, and he gave her permission to share. And the feedback we got from that, and the infertility, that there are a lot of people who feel like they're alone out there, and especially in the mom sphere, because there's so much judgment. Where if you're authentic, if you say you have a bad day, if you're ready to strangle your kids at the end of the day, if you're having that extra glass of wine because you're trying to cope, and feeling shame the next day, you're not alone out there. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've learned on this, is that we all struggle very silently sometimes, and we can both celebrate together and go through the struggles together. So it's really been a really special outpouring that we've had from the folks who have been part of our group and listening to the episodes. So it's really transformed into something so much more than we had anticipated from the start. So. Yeah.
I know it's called Moms on the Move. It's something that I actually follow. Being new to the community, it allows me to learn more about the community and the individuals within the community. So it's been great.
Yeah. And Greenville's very community-based. I mean, that's one of the things we love about living here, is it's as much of we're this middle-sized town. It's like this perfect middle-sized town where you can be out. I live out in Five Forks because I like the anonymity of the suburbs.
Mm-hmm. That's not so anonymous anymore.
I know, it's really not anymore, but it used to be. But or you've got that really close downtown set, but it's just that good combo of just big enough, just small enough to where you'll run into a couple people at the grocery store, but you don't have to get all dolled up to go out all the time.
That's why you loved your mask.
I do. I know people hate the mask. I love wearing masks. I don't have to fake smile at people anymore.
It's funny. I used to say the same thing. If I wanted to go get takeout, I had to throw my hat on, a mask. It didn't matter what I was wearing below that, because no one could tell who you were. But.
It's so true. Or just being in the grocery store. I don't know. I'm one of those people, if I make eye contact, I'm like, smile, and it gets tiring after a while. Now with the mask, I have to pretend.
Something that I had to learn when I moved here.
To
just say hi.
Oh, that's right.
Northern aggression on this side of the table.
That's
Hey,
one
I might
thing
be
that
the only
Ashley
real
taught me.
Southerner here, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
when we go to
He's the only Southerner.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Miami.
That doesn't count.
Florida is
It kind of
not
circles
Southern.
me.
You gotta go north to get to the south.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we go to look at houses, I'm always we drive through the subdivision and the people are walking, and you're like, hi. And Anthony's just sitting in the front seat. I was like, you have to wave, Anthony. This is the south.
He's really a nice guy.
He
He
really
just didn't
is.
know. It's okay to they're not going to mug you. You know what I'm saying?
So when I go back to Philly and I start saying hi to everyone, everyone's looking at me like, what is this guy doing?
I always joke with the airport. You leave Greenville and everyone's like, have a great trip. Where are you going? Your children are adorable. I like your outfit. And then you go to Philadelphia and they bark at you. You're like, oh, it's so nice to be back.
So you're saying you don't want to take a trip right now?
I've gotten used to it down here.
It is. It's nice. It's friendly.
Yeah, I get easily offended now. Why
They're
are they
honking
doing
at
this?
me.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, we stole. I hope it's okay. We did steal from you guys a little bit.
Go
So
for it.
the reason I say that is we talked about doing a podcast for a while, and we thought we'd do some financial stuff. But kind of like you said, Jen, I'm like, well, I like this stuff, but it's going to get real boring real quick. And I think probably like y'all's industry, we love and are passionate about it, and it's what we should be. But at some point, there's only so much of that you can take, right? I can take it all the time, but the normal human can't take finance stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
I will say your podcast, the one we did, it was great.
Yes.
I felt like we had really good feedback, especially when we
Yes.
talked about college tuition and just saving for college and your, opinion on what to do with the kid. I just thought it was so helpful.
Yeah, we did get a lot of feedback, the
Awesome.
whole "don't go broke to help your kids" kind of thing.
Yep.
We got a lot of good feedback on that.
No one throwing tomatoes saying
No,
they hate
it
their
was
Yeah.
all I felt guilty. I felt like
Yeah.
I was gonna have to refinance my house and take out credit card debt to send my kid to college, and now I don't feel guilty to have to do that. So
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was good.
So maybe could we switch gears for a
Yeah.
second? Because one of the, I think Anthony and I both have been talking. We're talking about this crazy real estate market. I mean, we got to bring that in a little bit,
Yeah.
because you guys are our resident experts here. What in the world is going on? I mean,
Oh
let's
my
get real. Let's get raw
Yeah.
here. What's
Well,
really going
I think
on?
a
Tell
lot
us
of
the
people
truth.
are saying is this a bubble? We don't know.
Well, it's really, and we've talked about it, so they're not foreclosing on federally backed mortgages. And most people are like, well, I don't have a federally backed mortgage. I got my mortgage from Bank of America. And I'm like, Bank of America, about 5 minutes after you closed on that loan, sold your loan on the secondary market. But as you know, a lot of people don't understand that. So they're not foreclosing on those types of mortgages. Even if you are a landlord and you have tenants in a house, in some states and in some scenarios, you can't even evict them if they're not paying. So not that I would want anybody ever to be foreclosed. It's gut-wrenching experience to go through that, I'm sure. But it's a natural part of the market. And a lot of people never even get to foreclosure. They get the first piece of paper you get when they file a foreclosure is the list pendants. And most people get that list pendants and they already know they're not paying. That's not a surprise when you get it. But they're like, oh, okay, the bank's taking this serious now. And they either refinance or they sell and get their equity out and figure something else out. But with that section of the market just kind of being suppressed, I don't think we're going to get a tidal wave. A friend of mine is a president of a bank, and every time we have a meeting, I'm like, what are delinquency rates looking like? And he's like, there's so much cash right now. That's what he keeps saying. Their deposit amounts, he's never seen so much cash out there.
Coming from out of state?
A lot of out of state, I would
just
say.
Out of state and just people's low debt, high savings right now. So I don't know if it's a combo of stimulus money, PPP loans. I'm not sure what exactly is happening out there, but all I know is we just do not have enough houses to sell. So I think it's a combo of that natural ebb and flow of the market that comes from people falling behind on their mortgages and selling and or foreclosures. A lot of people out there cash flush, and the fact that we just can't even keep up with new construction. The cost of building supplies, the pipeline right now, we just can't get houses built fast enough to get people in them.
But also in comparison to last year, it's like 30% less inventory in 2021 than
But the demand's higher, probably.
Correct. And the price has increased about 11%.
And low interest rates, with the interest rates being historically low, it's everything. It's everything all together.
And is it all price segments, or is there a certain segment of the market?
It's funny. I mean, I feel like you see obviously, like, the lower the price point, the more buyers there are, always. Yeah. But even the high price points right now, you're seeing multiple offers and above asking.
We had somebody in our office do an offer $125,000 over. It was over $1 million cash. They didn't get it. Mm-hmm. They didn't get it. I showed a house the other day. It was a neighborhood that last year I sold one for $160-something thousand, and I thought that was high for that neighborhood. First-time home buyers. They listed at $200,000. They only showed from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. One day of showings. I knew the agent. I called her the next day because I knew we weren't going to get it. And I was like, I need you to tell me. I just need to know.
Yeah. What did it go for?
60-something showings, 20-something offers, $30,000 over asking price, all cash, no appraisal, no inspection.
So how are people having this many showings? Or they just have multiple people at one time?
Yeah. Usually you set an appointment and they call it no overlappings. That's out the window right now. Just because there's so many buyers.
Yeah. It looks like a parade.
Yeah. Of cars down the street.
So basically, you just go away for a day, come back, and go through the offers you were. That's crazy.
Yep, that's like what I tell people. I'm like, just go away for a day or two, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll list it on Friday, leave, come back Sunday, and then we'll pick an offer. That's how bananas it is right now.
At what point do you tell a client it's not worth it?
Yes.
That's a good question.
That is where we are right now.
My sisters are looking. It's the same thing in Jersey right now. Once it goes up, multiple offers, it's gone. And I'm trying to advise them on, you got to wait it out a little bit. You don't want to overpay.
Well, I think part of it is this a forever home in your opinion? Like, is this a long term, or is this going to be, I see myself for, 2, because you want to stay at least for 2 or you get taxed on the proceeds. But is this going to be like a 2-year? If so, I don't know, because you don't want to, obviously we can't foresee what's going to happen, but you don't want to be upside down in your first home purchase, because usually you use that to then put towards the equity of your second. So if it's a long-term deal and you see yourself here, it probably could be worth it.
I'm doing a lot of math on interest rates and over list price is what the math I'm doing a lot right now, where it's like, okay, if rates go up this much, you're looking at this much, per month. That over the life of a loan compared to $5,000 now. So there's so much give and take. It's really hard. I've got a first-time home buyer right now, and all these, we got one and they came back and they're like, lift the inspection. And I'm like, it's a flip house. Like they came in and flipped it, and it's a first-time home buyer, and he doesn't have savings really to make a lot of repairs. I can't. And I told him, I was like, I'm telling you, I have a really hard time asking you to lift this appraisal contingent or inspection contingency. And if you do, you're going to sign a piece of paper that said Ashley told me not to do it, and I decided to do it anyway. How do you ask a first-time, a 24-year-old first-time home buyer with little savings to buy a house with no inspection? I wouldn't do it personally.
Are you seeing these folks having to miss out? I mean, obviously
Yes.
they're missing out on offers, but are they eventually finding it, or is it so tight they're moving to apartments? What are they doing? What are people doing?
I recently have had finally a lot of contracts actually go through, a lot of offers turn, and a few months ago I was saying it was like very frustrating. I was getting very frustrated with the parade I'd walk into, and but yeah, I mean, first home buyers have it the hardest, I think. So,
Because they financially probably don't have the strength to come in and just with brute force say,
they can't beat an all cash.
I'll go
offer.
15 all cash. They just don't have the kind of money.
They don't have the all cash, and that's what, especially like my over 400 people right now, I'm able to get them in homes. We've been able to find stuff. It's still a tough market, but especially my first time home buyers that are like under 250, it's brutal. I've got some buyers. We've been seeing 5, 6, 7, 8. We put offers on 5, 6, 7, 8 houses, but without that, when's the cash gonna go dry up? We're just competing against these all cash offers, and you just can't compete with that. Even if you're putting 20% down, if you're dealing with somebody, unless you're gonna lift an appraisal contingency, or I'm seeing like even really unique offers where we're like, hey, we'll lease back to you for 2 months, or we'll lease back to you for 2 months without you having to pay. Like we're just really getting really creative right now. Like you've dealt with the lease back before, and that's what it is. We're like, we'll let you stay here for 2 months rent free, so that you can then find another house.
Finance question.
Oh.
So a lot of people are like, well, I can pull money out of my 401k. What's the penalty? You're like, don't you do that.
Yeah, don't do it. No. So Financial Advisor 101, almost always a bad deal. I won't say everything in life is an absolute, but it's getting pretty close. I mean, if you've got to pull money out of a 401k to get in a house, you probably can't afford the house. Would be 99% of the time. First of all, if you're under 59 and a half, you may have to pay a penalty. There's some first-time home provisions where you can get a certain amount out, but I'm talking beyond those amounts. If you're talking about taking a large amount out, then it's meant to be for your retirement. Now you've robbed your retirement. You may have overpaid for a house and robbed for your retirement, paid some type of penalty and some type of tax. You're talking about a whammy all along the way. And the other one we see all the time is, well, I'll get a loan against my 401k. Because I'm borrowing for myself. Again, one of the potentially biggest mistakes we see people make, because it's one of the few ways you can pay double tax. You have to pay tax on after-tax dollars to get the money back in, and then when you take it out in retirement, you pay tax again. So meanwhile, your money's not working for you because you've taken it out if the market's up 20% or whatever percent it is. So it's a struggle. I get it. Maybe if somebody needs a little bit and they got to do it, but if they got to tap it for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, they probably can't afford the house. Is what I'd say.
Yeah, and a lot of our move up, our normal, that 250 to 450 range, or I call them our move up buyers and sellers. They're not moving. Nobody there, because what are they going to? Yeah, because no one's going to take their offer contingent. No one on their sale, and they usually have to pull that money out, so that we've got this middle range that's just not moving because they're afraid they're going to be homeless and not be able to find a house, and so then our lower end can't buy their houses. So it's this domino effect. It's this. Something's got to give.
It's also a spring market, though, so hopefully something will slow down.
End of summer or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people love to move before school starts and have the summer. So, this is normal, busy time. It's just more of an unhealthy normal.
It's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
For my mental.
What about moving down market? I don't know if if people say, "Hey, I've been here with big house kids, and kids are out of the house, maybe high school, college, whatever." Do you see people doing that? And maybe is it a good time because they're selling here and buying a little lower?
Yeah, they're probably the ones with the cash.
The cash, those are our cash buyers for real.
I'm trying to talk to my wife. We're not there yet. I've been trying to twist her arm. I mean, I don't really want to downsize yet. We already did that once, but I mean, for the right amount of money, other than my wife and kids, pretty much everything has to be up for auction. Is what I'm saying. So
you called me the other day. How's the market going? I was like, Cassie's going to murder do it if you sell your house.
She won't let me take pictures. I keep wanting to send pictures, and I whip the phone out, and I can't. So, anyway, somebody wants to babysit my wife for a little bit. I'll get the pictures to Ashley, and we'll be living somewhere, I don't know,
Van down by the river.
No, van down by the river, probably down in southern Lawrence or somewhere where there's still some land. I don't know.
Well, that's what everyone says. They're like, I really want to sell my house. I'm like, good for you. Where you going?
Where you going?
Where you going?
That's the hard part.
You got to solve that part first.
That
Yep.
is.
Mhm.
Yep.
And traditionally, we'd say, let's get the house sold
Yep.
first, right?
Right.
And yes.
Now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I've
It
seen
is.
reverse contingencies where usually it's contingent on the sale of a home. I'm seeing people say, I won't let you buy this house unless I find something to buy.
So you're seeing things you've never seen
Yeah.
before.
I'm going to sell mine and just move in with Brian.
Oh
All
my
I got's a
God.
bonus room, man.
Great.
You can sell your house like 50,000 times over. You have a great house. You do have a
Well,
great
you
house.
help me find it.
I know. You guys have a good house. Yeah.
So here's a last question about real estate, and we'll leave you alone about real estate.
Uh-huh.
What's the biggest mistake you guys see people make?
Ooh. So many.
Yeah, I mean,
So many.
in terms of like sellers right now, I think some are getting a little
Lazy.
lazy.
Oh, I saw.
And the
a bad
reason that's
house.
bad is because, yeah, you can sell it. Of course you can sell it. But you still want to make a good first impression because you could make, let's just say 20 more extra by doing the right things. So they're getting a little complacent. They're getting a little lazy.
Yeah, I showed a bad one last week and a half. Anyway, same in this market. And it was a line of cars, and people are walking out like this, and you're like, ooh, that's interesting. And I went in there, I was like, oh, I get it. It was
Cats.
super smelly. Big dogs,
Big
smelly, fur everywhere, stains all over the carpet. You couldn't even see the countertops. There was so much stuff on there. And all they had to do was declutter that house and deep clean. And I promise you it would have gone a day. It is still active right now. And in this market, it's crazy when you see a house and they're like, oh, it's been on for 10 days. What's wrong with it? And I'm like,
You see it for 4 days.
yeah,
What?
what's happening? That's the way it's come. But yeah, so I would say it's lazy sellers.
Lazy sellers.
Definitely. And on the buyer side, over leveraging themselves. I get people and they're like, I'm approved up to this amount. And I'm like, okay. Doesn't mean we need to spend that amount. Like, let's back this down. Let's talk about your lifestyle. Let's talk about things you like to do. Do you still want to go on vacation, or do you want to just pay for your house and your car for the rest of your life? So I see a lot of first-time home buyers over leveraging themselves, and you got to back them back down.
Yeah.
I will also say there's been I had a conversation recently with another listing agent, and she said the amount of offers that came in, and there were obviously no appraisal on any of them, over ask. Well, what that means is then you have to bring cash to the table. So people are like all day like, oh yeah, take it. Well, they might not have it.
Yeah.
So, then they're getting stuck down the line after the offer's been accepted. And I mean, it's the Wild West.
If someone lifts an appraisal contingency, I'll be
You
like,
have to have
I need
cash.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I need proof of funds.
Yeah.
Show me your proof of funds that you have the money to cover the gap between our list price and your offer price in cash in your bank right now. Or otherwise, I wouldn't take it. I mean, people just, I don't trust anybody. But
So you got to be careful.
you really have to. Yeah.
And honestly, even for for sale by owner, I know, yeah, you're going to save some percent, obviously. But again, if you let it hit the live market, you're probably going to get better buyers, and you need someone to help you right now.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you need a help anyway, unless, there's a lot of people who don't want to work with agents, and you don't have to work with us. I'm just saying it just makes more sense, less headache and less liability issues if you have somebody to help steer you.
Absolutely.
And especially on the buyer side and new construction, a lot of people think they don't need an agent for purchasing new construction. I'm dealing with it right now in a new construction neighborhood. We are under contract, and they're raising the contract price on us. So,
But not a little bit.
No, not a little bit. I won't get into it, but it's a lot. And I've been working really closely with these buyers, and we're pushing back. So you need representation, especially right now with especially new construction. It's, you talk about the Wild West. It's so frustrating out there right now.
Yeah. Well, I know, having worked with you, it's very valuable. Just having someone on your side that does that all the time, right? You can be very smart in real estate, but you might not know the market and the things that are going on. So obviously, being in the finance world, we think the same, but it's very important to have an advocate.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
And staging, it's like the staging on the houses is such a big deal, and it's just people have these unrealistic HGTV, Pinterest expectations, and you gotta unfortunately meet them where they are.
I mean, everything doesn't look like Joanna Gaines was in there. Tell my wife.
I always joke around, like, because we keep the old brochures, and some of these I was like, you see this house right there? You see that beautiful picture? I am sweating. I'm standing behind the photographer holding a laundry basket of stuff. Like,
it lasted 30 seconds.
Every single time. Or I'm out there like rolling up a dirty hose right before the photos are getting taken. But yeah.
We're going to ask our signature question.
Oh, there's a signature question.
What makes you tick?
Ooh.
And you both have to answer.
Yes.
Like, where do I start?
I know.
In life? Or,
Whatever.
Ooh. So like, maybe one of those things I could have made like a long list.
Yeah. And we can interpret makes you tick any way we'd like.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll jump in.
Oh.
You can say it's coffee. I mean,
Living my values is like what gets me going. So,
Oh, I thought you meant like make you mad.
well, that's why I was saying interpretation. That's your interpretation. I knew you were going there.
I'm so from New Jersey.
we're hoping to get a lot of cool answers.
I know. That's why I like that kind of question, because you can interpret it. But like, gets me tick. Like, what makes me tick to me, like what gets me up and going in the morning.
It's a positive way to look at it.
You'll get your turn.
Yeah, you'll
We're
get
gonna
your
look both sides.
But for me, it's like that living the values. And in real estate, I know a lot of people. Yes, we're in the sales world, but I really enjoy the helping people. Like, they have a goal, and I am here to do the right thing. And I have a little, and I'm not a superstitious person, but I have this little Chinese fortune, and it was when I was first deciding to go into real estate for full time. Before that, I was in title abstracting, did some HOA management, and it said, do the right thing and the money will follow. And that is, for me, is what it is all about. It is about doing the right thing. It's about doing the right thing at home, and it's about doing the right thing out in the community, and which is what you guys are doing with this podcast. It is about doing the right thing for my clients, and always putting that first before the money. And if you work hard, if you treat other people well, the money will follow. But you've got to live your values first. And that's what gets me up in the morning. And I do a lot of volunteer work, and that is why. Because I think if you live your values, the right things in life will come to you.
Amen.
I'm going to move over.
I know.
I mean, I was gonna say like cat.
You're dead to me.
We're looking once for spice now.
Well, I can't follow that, but I would say what makes me tick, angry, is when I think women don't support each other, because I think that we're so much more alike than different, and that we are the ones that understand each other, and we need to build each other up.
Yeah.
So supporting each other,
Yeah.
I just think that's really important.
There's more seats at the table. We don't have to fight for the same seat at the table.
It's true.
Yep.
That's mine.
I like our question. We're getting different answers
know.
already.
I know.
Only first time, and we got
Yeah.
two. I love it.
I like the signature question. We may have to steal that.
Ooh, I
know. It's like Brene Brown. I don't know if you're familiar with Brene Brown, but she's a psychologist, and she writes a ton of books and stuff, but she has like 5 questions at the end of her podcast, and like one of them was like your favorite songs, and I was like, oh my god, if anybody ever asked me, I wouldn't be able to answer. So, but I like this one.
Actually, what is your favorite?
I don't even know. I have no idea.
Changes based on the mood.
That's very
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
Yeah.
This morning I was listening to Oasis. I love Oasis.
Oh my god, you brought it back to the 90s.
Oh yeah, I love 90s music.
There's some. There's some. Is it 102.5? They're playing everything, and I've heard stuff that I hadn't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
no
my
plug
favorite
for a
part.
radio station. We just
Unless
maybe
you want to
think-
sponsor them.
Hey.
You heard this? You want to sponsor them.
Open to sponsorship.
Open to sponsorship. Yeah, you guys will have to teach us about that.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. This has
Thank
been
you.
awesome and a lot of fun, and really, really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having
A
us.
lot. Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you all for joining us on Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisors. Share us, like us, join us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
And until we see you next time, go out and make our community great.